Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an ultimate guide on how to play Squirrel Girl in Marvel Rivals. Now Squirrel Girl has a very interesting attack because it'll explode after it bounces 2 times. So we can use this to our advantage in a variety of situations, which I'll be showing you guys in this video. And her attacks do 110 damage, so it actually hits really hard. The damage fall off is only 70% whenever it's at 3 meters range, so you're mostly going to be hitting for max damage with her attacks, and especially so if you hit directly with her attacks. Now, I wouldn't fully recommend going with the direct hit route because bouncing off the ground just ensures that you're going to hit targets, especially if they're moving around. We're just going at stationary targets here. But if we were able to roll it off of different areas, you can see it actually helps to be focusing on bouncing them a little bit just to be able to ensure that you do get a hit off. Now, Squirrel Girl has 2 really good abilities here, actually a few really good abilities. So she has this attack here, which you can bind a target into place. And what's nice is if you land that shot and then hit 2 of your acorns, any target that has only 250 health is going to be taken out. Now, if you go against another Squirrel Girl, you're going to have to hit a 3rd attack there to take her out. But yeah, this can be very effective for taking out enemies very fast. Now, Squirrel Girl also has the tail bounce here, which lets you get actually some really nice shots off on targets. So if you think, like, let's say there's a tank that's blocking the way of Doctor Strange right here, you can actually use the tail bounce to get up high and then be able to get a few extra hits off on them. So that can be really effective for any time that there's a tank blocking the healers, because you want to prioritize taking out healers. Now, you also have this ability here that anytime that, let's say you're running low on your acorns, we're just going to fire them off here. You can use this to get a free reload, and then you can also use an ability for free. So you can see here, we can actually get 2 bounces off, and that just ensures that we're able to get into prime positioning. It also can be used to be able to give yourself another squirrel binding here, the squirrel barrage, to be able to hold targets in place. So use this where you think necessary. I personally like being able to get an extra hop off. Sometimes this can mean the difference between getting a better positioning on the target and taking out the enemy's healers. So that is kind of the priority. Now with Squirrel Girl, she also has a really useful ultimate. So the Squirrel Stampede, you can aim where it's going. It actually got a huge buff from the latest patch. It used to be a random direction they would run. Now it's going to run and try to target a healer, or try to target any target, honestly. It does have some issues where it will bounce off and get stuck, as you saw there, in different places. So you do have to be a bit strategic with where you throw your ultimate. And I would recommend, if you see a group of enemies, to throw it like towards the back line if you can. And then it should be able to bounce forwards and then take out the rest of the team. So that would be the priority there. But also with your squirrel bind there, so if you're going to refresh it here, you can hold it down for longer to throw it faster and make sure that you do land that shot. So that is also especially nice because it is a bit more challenging to land, but if you're able to throw it there and get that off, it can mean you're taking out an enemy. It's also nice for tanks that may be pushing up on you, so you can go that route. But the free reload is really nice. You want to time it so that you got that free reload off, and then you can get up high and then, you know, get into proper positioning with Squirrel Girl. Now, Squirrel Girl also has a really good team up. So if you have a Spider-Man on your team, the team up with Squirrel Girl is actually quite effective because it gives you a free bind. So whenever you have Spider-Man there, you can press C, and then with this, you get this binding attack there, which will hold targets in place for a minute. It does have a 20-second cooldown. But what's nice about that is you can crowd control, use your refresh, crowd control, and then use your Spider-Man ability. So this becomes crazy because then it gives you 3 abilities for crowd control, and you're honestly probably the best hero at crowd control. So this can be really nice. So yeah, again, with that, it would be just the C button, and you just spin it and then throw it right away. You will throw it, so make sure you're aiming at a target before you use it. But it's extremely effective because it'll deal 80 damage and then also be able to bind targets. As I mentioned previously, the exploding attack here does 110 damage, so you can actually take out targets. Let's say Cloak and Dagger hit a target with one of their daggers, then you'll be able to take them out with a low health target with 1 or just 2 of your acorns. So that can be really effective for just taking out enemies that are a little bit lower on their health, as all you have to do is land a couple shots. Squirrel Girl is actually very surprisingly easy to get hits off with, and if you're finding your aim's not going very well, just aim a little bit lower like I showed off there, and you'll be able to get those hits off. So as you can see, I'm not doing great with that, but you can, when you hit the Spider-Man team up, then also get the get those 2 extra hits off, and that target will be downed. And this will apply for any of the higher health healers as well. So I would personally recommend anytime that you can, seeing like wall bounce attacks, like you can see there. If we bounce it off the wall, this can just be a nice, easy way. There's certain maps where you can bounce it from bounce it and get it in without even having to see the target. So you can just take people out that way as well. But I'll show off in some gameplay how to make the most out of Squirrel Girl. Now, positioning is really important in Squirrel Girl, and knowing when and where to use your ultimates. As you can see there, it was an easy double, and then we had a Penny that was trying to set up right on position here, and that was an easy triple right there. But as far as attacks go, using walls to your advantage can be really useful there. I got a double kill and then a nice extra KO there. But yeah, walls and bouncing it off the floor can be beneficial to be able to hit targets. Going against flyers is really hard, as you can see right there. I just wanted to show that off. Iron Man and Storm is going to be somewhat of a counter, but you even see there, like, being able to take out Wanda by bouncing off the ground worked pretty well, as she got froze there. But you still can hit Iron Man. It's going to take 3 hits to take him out, so sometimes you can get quite lucky with that. But yeah, right there is exactly why this ultimate is super useful, and you want to get into a good position when using it, because you can get easy doubles with it. It does 150 damage whenever it hits a target, so sometimes that can just be enough to take out someone that's got low health, and it'll bounce around and potentially take out multiple targets. You can easily get triples with this, but there's an example of taking out a flyer. We got flanked from behind here, and Squirrel Girl doesn't have any defensive options. She just has the tail bounce and the bind there, so you can bind the enemy to place and then Squirrel tail bounce to get away. But that's really all you got defensively. So you can see there, that was a quick, easy burst. If you bounce it off the wall, sometimes you can just take out an enemy way faster than they can even react. And that's exactly what happened there. So very useful. But got another double there just because the grenade, or the main attack that we got, bounces and does a lot of damage. One thing that's nice about Squirrel Girl is if you've ever played Team Fortress 2 and played the Demoman, she's very reminiscent of the Demoman, also somewhat reminiscent of Junkrat from Overwatch. So if you're comfortable with those characters, you'll probably be comfortable with Squirrel Girl. But really, it's just all about spamming your acorns and trying to find the right places to bounce them off the wall. So if you get jumped like this, sometimes just the direct hits is best, but you can also just bounce it off the floor as well and get some easy knockouts. So you can see there, we took out Jeff just with an easy floor bounce. So I also sometimes will shoot off attacks if you know that there's enemies in a certain area, like through a wall or through a little gap in the window there. I just sometimes will shoot off because you can get some easy attacks in, and all it takes is 3 of them connecting to be able to take out an enemy. So sometimes you do get lucky with that, or if they're already damaged, a couple of them and can take out enemies. So right there was the easy triple as well. When it comes to Squirrel Girl, she's just best whenever there's small entrances like that, because we have we have exploding attacks that hit in a pretty large radius, but also when there's walls there, it just is easy for you to set up and get those bounce attacks off. So that can help out quite a bit whenever you're fighting against multiple enemies. Tried to save our team from Jeff here. I was able to get 2 hits off, but he does heal, so that was not fortunate. And again, there's another Scarlet Witch getting taken out by us because our exploding attacks just are so useful. So yeah, for the most part, as Squirrel Girl, positioning is going to be behind your team. You're very long range, but sometimes you do need to get in, like when you're dropping your ultimate like that. It almost pays to get a little bit closer so you can make sure that you are hitting the target that you want to hit, and then you can easily get some triples just like that. So another nice thing, you can actually avoid Jeff's ultimate. Squirrel Girl's got a lot of mobility. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.